Thank you.
Well, Knoxville is one step closer to converting the former St. Mary's Hospital site in North Knoxville to a public safety complex. A city council workshop was held tonight to go over some of the details and discuss this potential project. And I was at the meeting tonight, spoke to Knoxville Mayor Madeline Rogero about the specifics. Knoxville Mayor Madeline Rogero has her sights set on taking advantage of the closure of the former St. Mary's Hospital in North Knoxville.
Half of it would be for KPD, KFD, pension and municipal court. The northern part of it, where the actual original hospital and a lot of the annexes are prime for redevelopment.
She says old, dilapidated infrastructure for these departments makes this the perfect move. And she says using what you already have in the city is important.
We have a lot of old structures that need to be repurposed. We've seen what happened downtown. Years ago, there were many blighted buildings.
But this isn't just any building. It's a building that many people relied on.
When it's a hospital, it can have a big impact on the community.
Since the hospital closed, we've reported longer wait times at other hospitals picking up the slack. But the mayor says other facilities are trying to help out.
Yeah, I'm very supportive.
Council member Mark Campen represents part of the district where the new headquarters could be, and he knows it's a challenge, but thinks it could all work in the end.
I think it's a great reuse of the property. It's a challenging site. There's a lot of old buildings that will need to be renovated or torn down, so I'm optimistic.
And as for the people against the project,
I mean, it's a fact of life that businesses open, businesses close. We are sorry that this is closing. Our preference would be a hospital on this site that continues to serve the community.
And the next step in the project is for the city to put a plan together and then take that plan to city council for approval. Mayor Rogero says if all goes as planned, they hope to get approval in the next coming months.